Hi, I'm Kenzie. Welcome back to my podcast. If you are just joining, welcome. Today we will be talking about my 24th Little Bear VHS, Friendship Tales. This VHS includes Between Friends, Birthday Soup, Invisible Little Bear, and The Dandelion Wish. First, let's talk about Between Friends. This episode starts out with Little Bear in bed because he had the mumps. Mother Bear came in with ice cream for him, which is good for bears with the mumps. So Little Bear ate some. It didn't hurt. He wished he wasn't sick, though, because he wanted to play with his friends. So Mother Bear suggested that he shut his eyes and get some rest. When she kissed Little Bear, it hurt. She apologized and Little Bear fell fast asleep. Then some knocking was heard. It was Emily and her doll Lucy. She came to check on how Little Bear was feeling. She had a present for him. It was a book she wrote. Emily was about to go through the window, but then she realized she had to stay outside or she might catch the mumps too. So she grabbed a stick, attached the book to it, and gave it to Little Bear. The book was called Between Friends. Little Bear opened it. Emily knew the book by heart, so she recited it while Little Bear listened and followed along. Page 1 included how they first met. Page 2 included Duck's nieces and nephews who needed to be babysat. They laughed until Little Bear's mumps hurt him. Then in page 3, it showed Lucy up in a tree at Owl's party. Little Bear liked Emily's present for him. Then Mother Bear entered the scene with a cup of water for Little Bear. He showed her the book that Emily brought him. She thought it was lovely, but told Emily that she needed to go home so she doesn't catch the mumps. The scene transitions to Emily and Lucy, who caught the mumps. As Granny went downstairs to get some ice cream for them, Little Bear entered the scene. Emily opened the window. Little Bear was sorry she caught the mumps. Emily forgave him. Then Little Bear gave her a present. At first he wanted to give it to her by letting her get it off with the fishing pole, but Little Bear already had the mumps, so he went inside to sit next to Emily. It turned out the present was the same book that Emily made for Little Bear. She turned to the end. Little Bear added a story. Page 4 included him and Emily at Hop Frog Pond. Then there was just one more page left. Little Bear thought they should write something together. So Emily wrote, "This story really has no end because this story is between friends." Then Little Bear drew the picture. Now the book really belonged to both of them. They both looked at the last page together. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode was still good when you watch it a second time. The reason this episode was in this VHS is because it's about friendship, and friends help other friends make each other feel better, which is nice. All in all, it's a good episode. Now let's talk about Birthday Soup. This episode starts out with Little Bear waking up one morning excited because today was his birthday. Mother Bear was nowhere to be seen, though. Little Bear searched and searched for her, but he couldn't find her. Well, Mother Bear was seen. Little Bear just didn't know it. He was mad. He thought Mother Bear had forgotten his birthday. So he decided to be the host. He grabbed carrots and potatoes, peas and tomatoes. They don't make a cake, so Little Bear decided to make birthday soup. He grabbed the big pot, filled it with water, and put the vegetables in it. Mother Bear was about to come in, but she didn't. Then a knock on the door was heard. It was Hen. She had honey for Little Bear. Then Duck came with dandelions. Then Cat came with an apple. Little Bear put his presents in the soup. Then the scene transitions to everyone playing musical chairs. Little Bear controlled the gramophone. The music played as Duck, Hen, and Cat ran around the two chairs. The music stopped. Duck was out. Little Bear moved a chair so there was one left. The music played as Hen and Cat ran around the single chair. The music stopped. Cat won. His prize was a ball of yarn. He played with it until the soup was ready. At least Little Bear thought was ready. So he gave his friends the soup. Duck thought it was delicious. Hen thought it was divine. Cat was full. He didn't want any. He gave some to Duck. Then Mother Bear had some cake. She shushed Cat. Cat winked at her. Then he told Little Bear to close his eyes and count to 3. Once Little Bear reached to 3, Mother Bear and the cake were present. She wanted to surprise him with the cake, but it took longer than she expected. She never did forget his birthday, and she never will. Then Little Bear blew out the candles and made a wish. Duck wished somebody would cut the cake. Everybody laughed and wished Little Bear a happy birthday. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode was also a good one when watched the second time. This episode was on the Friendship Tales VHS because it showed Little Bear and his friend celebrating a birthday. Friends celebrate birthdays, especially when your friend is Mother Bear. All in all, it's a good episode. Now let's talk about Invisible Little Bear. This episode starts out with Little Bear wearing a blue magic cape and saying the magic words Hocus Pocus to make himself look invisible. He even showed Mother Bear how it works. He even moved the bowl. Then he went outside to play with his friends. The scene transitions to Little Bear and Duck. He He told her that she can't see him because he's wearing his magic cape and was invisible. Then Hen and Cat entered the scene. Little Bear showed them how the magic cape works. Then Owl entered the scene to play hide and seek with them. He was it. As he counted to 10, everyone hid except Little Bear. Duck came out from hiding to tell Owl Little Bear's invisible. So Owl didn't see Little Bear, but he did find Duck. Now he just needed to find Hen and Cat. Little Bear went over to Hen and touched her. It surprised her. Then he went over to where Cat was hiding and tickled him, which was cheating. So everyone was found except Little Bear, who was invisible. It sure was not fun playing hide and seek with someone who was invisible. Then Duck thought, what if they were all invisible? Little Bear said that they can't because they need a magic cape. But Owl said that a magic cape was merely an accessory. All they had to do was turn around and say the magic words hocus pocus. So they did just that, and they were all invisible. Then Little Bear was it. As he counted to 10, his friends gathered around him. Little Bear was upset that he went home for lunch. The scene transitions to Mother Bear knitting. Little Bear told her he didn't want to be invisible anymore because he missed seeing his friends. Then a knock on the door was heard. Little Bear answered it. It was Duck. Little Bear told her he was not invisible anymore. Then they went outside to play hide and seek again with the rest of their friends. Mother Bear watched. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode was interesting. I mean, it's no fun being invisible when you don't want your friends to be. That's what I learned. All in all, it's still a good episode because Little Bear's friends are still friends. Now let's talk about the dandelion wish. This episode starts out with Little Bear trying to catch a dandelion fluff so he can blow on it and make a wish. Mother Bear had it now. She made a wish and blew on it. Little Bear chased after it. The scene then transitions to Little Bear still chasing the dandelion fluff. Duck had it on her beak. She almost sneezed it off. Little Bear stopped her, but not for long. Duck sneezed and the dandelion fluff blew away. She and Little Bear chased after it. Then it started going up and down. They thought it was very interesting. They had to be sneaky so it doesn't get away again. It turned out Cat was making the dandelion fluff go up and down. He was sleeping. Little Bear and Duck had to be very quiet so they don't wake him up. They shushed each other and tried to catch it, but they bumped into each other. Cat woke up wondering what all the racket was. Little Bear and Duck told them they were chasing a dandelion fluff. Cat followed them. He wanted to make a dandelion wish too. Then the dandelion fluff led them to a whole field of dandelions. Now they could make all the wishes they want. Little Bear's wished that he could go fishing with Father Bear. Cat wished for fish stew for breakfast. Duck wished she could be a beautiful princess. Little Bear wished for chocolate cake. Cat wished for fish stew for breakfast and lunch. Duck wished she could be a beautiful princess. Little Bear wished for 2 pieces of chocolate cake. Cat wished for fish stew for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Duck wished she could be a beautiful princess. The scene transitions to Little Bear having chocolate cake, which was one of his wishes that came true. He even had another piece. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode was a good one. It's a classic chase the dandelion fluff kind of story. I love dandelions. I've definitely blew some before. All in all, it's a good episode. So yeah, that's Friendship Tales. If you would like to play again, just go back to the beginning of this episode. See you next time. Bye!